Hello everyone, welcome to Swagger and Swoon. My name's George and today we're going to be talking about black tie formal wear. We get quite a lot of questions over this one. So the first thing to think about when we're talking about black tie formal wear is what it says on your invite. So if it says black tie and you know the event's going to be really formal, stick to those basics because you don't want to stand out in all the wrong ways. If it does say black tie optional, or you know the event in particular has a bit more flexibility in it, there is a little bit of scope to sort of personalise with different colours, different patterns. But like I say, if this is something that's particularly formal, you want to really stick to those basics. So the staple for a black tie look is obviously the dinner jacket or tuxedo jacket. Now there's a little bit of discrepancy between the English and the Americans and what they might call what. They're essentially the same thing. What you're looking for is a formal jacket, try and stick with black, with a satin lapel. So this sort of contrast sets it aside from a work suit. You don't want to turn up in a black work suit because this is probably what the waiters and things are going to be wearing, so you don't want to get mistaken for one of those. You want to go for something with a peaked lapel like this. A shawl collar is also fine, just avoid anything with a notch because again, that's a bit too workwear. But regardless of what they're called, what you're looking for is a smart jacket with a satin lapel that contrasts between the two, and then you'll be fine. You can wear a waistcoat with these ones. If you're going for something a little bit less formal, or you've got the black tie optional, then something like this would be really nice with a bit of pattern in. For the more formal events, I'd steer clear of wearing anything too decorative like this. Try and keep to one that will match your jacket, or if not, just don't bother with that one. It's one of those that can be on the limits of what's appropriate for black tie. So yeah, if in doubt, steer clear of. And then last but not least, go with a classic trouser. So these are our tuxedo trousers here. Again, keep them really simple, plain. If you can match a jacket, excellent. A lot of people ask us whether they have to wear a black suit or whether it can be any other colour. So originally, navy suits were designed because they're actually a lot darker under artificial light than black suits are. So that can be allowed, but if in doubt, stick with black. It's the sort of the most common and the most versatile there. Once you've got your suit sorted, you've then got your white shirt. So this can be a little bit more formal. You can have a dress shirt on. You can have a standard collar or a winged collar. Now, some people will say that the wing collar should be reserved for the white tie only. There's a bit more flexibility here. The only thing to think about if you are going to wear a winged collar is make sure that your bow tie is a self-tie one, because you don't want people seeing your fastenings or anything that might be on the strap that's around there. When it does come to your bow tie, something like this is a black silk paisley. It is a little bit more interesting than just sort of a plain black bow tie. If you're going to a really, really formal event, I'd probably avoid this and stick with flat, plain black bow tie. I think this is probably okay for most events because it is quite sort of subtle and quite a nice looking one, this one. But yeah, if in doubt, stick with sort of your classic silk black bow tie. We'd always recommend going for a self-tie one. This is just because if someone comes up and tries to adjust your bow tie after the dinner, you don't want the embarrassment of it then not being a real one. But there are pre-tied ones available now, most of which are sort of in a style that does mimic this, so it's up to you. But if in doubt, stick with those self-tie ones. When it comes down to the pocket square, again, keep it really simple. We've got a white linen pocket square in here. You can go for one that matches your bow tie, so a black silk or black silk paisley, something like that is okay. Try and avoid any colours or patterns in particular. This does tend to make things look a little bit less formal again, so just steer away from those. But if you have got an event that is sort of black tie optional again, or is a lot less formal, then absolutely go for it. Put your personality in there with a bit of colour or a bit of a pattern. And then the last thing to think about for your outfit is a scarf. You can wear a dress scarf. If you're going to wear a dress scarf, stick with something really simple and really sort of on theme. So black silk or white silk would probably be the furthest to go with that one. Again, if you've got a really a bit less of a formal event, then something with a colour or a pattern is a really great way to sort of add a bit of flair. but this isn't really appropriate for the formal events. So here we've got just a white silk one, and as you can see, it matches everything really well. But yes, I would stick to those sort of monochrome colours if in doubt at all. If you have got that flexibility, go for it. Add in your colours. Try not to be too garish, otherwise it can just look a bit tacky. But that's sort of your general rules of how to dress black formal.